Welcome to Delmarvalous, Americana. I'm your host, Billy Earl Amos. This weekly program aims to examine the voices, the sounds, and the personalities of those people whose labor of love is music and the arts. Whether it's a local favorite or a rising regional act, we'll spend some time with them and their music here on WSDL 90.7 FM, streaming on delmarvapublicmedia.org. And you can also find us on YouTube channel and on Pac 14 in Salisbury. Because, as we all know, a life without live music just ain't hardly worth it. Our guest today is Mr. Birddog Wheeler of Birddog and the Road Kings.
At the same time, and I'm going, I literally dropped my jaw. He is a Chet Atkins aficionado. He is.
Yeah, I watched him pretty close when you all were over at Carpenter Street, and he does some really interesting voicings with his embellishment and his flourishes. Yeah. It's a little bit of a masterclass lesson.
He'd be the master that could teach it. Hey, that's another little thing of ours. I don't know that you could come to hear us back-to-back nights and hear that if we did that same song, it would be done some sort of difference.
I would hope so.
It is. And that's one thing we've been able to enjoy, the four of us making music like that.
Well, I think that's part of the journey, is to make the song your own and not to be
that's right.
redundant.
Thank you. I agree.
Yeah. It's a funny thing about live music. Everybody seems to want it, but there doesn't seem to be a lot of it in context of something besides bar bands.
Right.
I love bar bands, but there's also a place for original music. And I think I'm hoping that sometime in the near future that the Eastern Shore will have more of that, especially in Salisbury.
Yeah, it's really to find a showcase, lounge bar, pavilion. It's down here. It's tough, We'll do maybe 20-25% of our show is original.
Good.
And, and then there's, just get the attention, let's say. And then when it's time for our thing, we command that, or they'll sit and listen to our songs. And we get a ton of people asking for them. We've done 7 CDs, so.
Well, over there at Carpenter Street, when Lynn and I were over there watching you all, you have a very dedicated fan base.
Yes,
They love you,
and we love them.
Yeah,
I mean, if it wasn't them, I wouldn't be sitting here with you. So.
Right. But I mean, they're attracted to so many things about the act. The bass player, when he does that kind of basso vocal part, very cool.
I love those guys. I mean, not only are they just stupid good musicians, they're just great guys. It's one thing we've had going for us. We've never had no egos, no animosity. We just go each night. I've got the things that I do. All four of us, we set our own stuff up. We break it down. So,
well, you're fortunate because, bands are typically something that are destined to break up with bad feelings. And it's nice when it doesn't happen.
And in the majority of it's done because of egos.
I agree. I absolutely agree.
I think we've grown out of all that. And even, when Billy and Charlie both, because Billy came around and joined us in late 75, and Charlie was like late 82.
Okay.
One of the first shows that Charlie did with us, if not I think we did I know we had a couple of rehearsals, but one of the very first shows, if not the first show, we opened for Whalen Jennings here in Salisbury.
Whoa.
And it was a double show. We did an afternoon show and an evening show.
Oh, man.
And that was like one of Charlie's first gigs. He goes, man, you guys.
Big fan of Whalen. Big fan of Whalen.
Myself.
I got to know Tommy Alsop. When I lived in Texas, he had a little recording studio in the little bitty, kicker town that I lived in.
Yeah.
And so I used to hang around there trying to get a chance to play something there with him. And I only got on one record ever, and it was a harmonica part that was so buried in the mix you could hardly tell what it was.
You were on it.
But
He
used my bass for about 6 months because he didn't have one that he liked, but he liked mine. It's an old PV with red strings.
Aha.
Red strings, red bass strings. When you guys are were formulating, now Billy was coming from another band and other people came in. When did you really kind of realize that, okay, this is it, this is the lineup?
Once Billy and Charlie got together, it was over. It was set. It was like, we got everything we need now. And went through maybe a handful of drummers.
Okay.
And when Roger came, and not only with his timing and just staying on top of everything, and then his that third and fourth part harmony.
Yeah.
It was done.
Yeah.
So, and that's those guys, Billy, well, all three of them, they're singing it just off the charts. So,
well, I was just blown away, and I'm a huge fan of 3-part harmony.
yeah. Yeah.
At the point where you've now got your group, who were you guys playing with or playing behind or in front of that people out in the audience would know? Everybody?
Yeah, everybody.
Okay.
Everybody but Johnny Cash.
Boy, that would have been something, wouldn't it?
We played with Willie. We played with Waylon. We played with Christopherson. We didn't get the fourth one.
Oh, man. that's the Hall of Fame.
Now, we met, I was around him a handful of times when we were down in Nashville. So we were down in Nashville with, the reason we went to Nashville was because of Hank Cochran.
Okay.
We ran into Hank in Alamorada, Florida in 83. We were touring down there.
Okay.
And he came into the deck bar that we were at. And I took a break, and he come over and goes, "Hey, man." I said, "How you doing?" I said, "Birddog Wheeler." He goes, "Hank Cochran." I went,
yeah.
That.
Yeah.
So, anyway, we packed around together for about, I think he was down there close to 3 weeks, and we were down there like our 6 or, most of the time when we went to Florida, we'd do it 6 to 8 weeks. And, but we just hung around, played a lot of music on his boat, and we really got to know him. And he says, "Well, you guys need to get to Nashville if you're going to do it."
Right.
And now some original songs from Birddog and the Road Kings.
I was born and raised on the eastern shore, in the slower lower half where there's not much more than a whole lot of water and a small strip of land. Little towns like Princess Anne, cannon factories in the tomato fields, crab pots stacked up around Chris Field. We know the harbor where the skipjack sails. That's right, I'm from Somerset County. Well, it didn't take long for me to figure it out. A lot of ways in. 37 years of neon lights, ice cold beer and honky tonk nights. Money for nothing, but the chicks aren't free. Unless, of course, you're in Somerset County. You make a right hand turn on the big highway, follow 13 south toward the Chesapeake Bay. Two lights make a left, mile marker 21. You're right there in the middle, right where I come from. My cousin Bip, he's still turning wrenches. Got a shop full of cars and old men on benches. Drinking pop, swatting flies, smoking cigarettes and telling lies. He's the oldest boy, the son of a trucker. Rollback king, yeah, he's a bad motherfucker. The kind of guy you wanna have around if you ever break down in Somerset County. Got another cousin, Jim. Now he's the shit, or at least he's about waist deep in it. Digs a hole, truck starts pumping, money starts flowing, and the shit keeps coming. Septic sanitation with a Midas touch. Got his name right there on the side of his trucks. If you need to get pumped, well, look him up, he's there. In Somerset County. You make a right hand turn on the big highway, follow 13 south toward the Chesapeake Bay. Two lights make a left, mile marker 21. You're right there in the middle, right where I come from. Friday nights it was out to Bucks. Parking lot filled with old pickup trucks. Underage kids out back drinking. The smell of homegrown bluegrass picking. KP Mariner making too much noise. Wild Bill Miller and the Whitlock boys. Brother Jim Cotman, the ghost of Bobby Bounds can all be found in Somerset County. Well, there's a girl down there I used to know rather well. She liked the way I sang, liked the way I smelled. Long blonde hair, a waterman's daughter. She grew up just outside of Dame's Quarter. Had legs as long as oyster tongues. She got saved, I got gone. Last I heard, she's still going strong. Down in Somerset County. See, one of these days, they'll just haul me back. Dig a hole and that'll be that. Say a prayer, maybe shed a tear. But don't forget now, bring some beer. Find a real nice shady spot and just plant my ass in a little plot. And on the tombstone write, just in case they forgot. That's right, I'm from Somerset County. So make a right hand turn off the big highway, follow the T south toward the Chesapeake Bay. Two lights, make a left, mile marker 21. You're right there in the middle, right where I come from. Now that's where I come from. I think it's about time I take a little trip back home. Maybe pick up with old Dickie Dump Truck. Head down to the Harbor Club. Or maybe Rum Lake. Turkey Branch. How about old Perry Hawkins checking in at the Bum Shack? Guess I better call Brother Rick Vitra up to make sure I'm still a member in good standing.
He wakes up each morning long before the dawn, downs a cup of coffee as he slips his work boots on. Then it's out across the backyard to that old pole shed way. He climbs up in the seat, fires up that old John Deere. Daddy bought that tractor on the day that I was born. Mama says she's never ever seen one man so proud before. And when he'd sit me up there with him on his lap and let me steer and say, I've seen him come and I've seen him go, nothing runs quite like a deer. Some big man in Washington in a Mercedes-Benz, he said we gotta make cuts somewhere, so we might as well start with him. Hey, Mr. Congressman, come quick, something that I want you to hear. Out here in farming country, nothing runs quite like a deer. I watched him sweat all summer, at night he prayed for rain, just to watch his profit margin go all to hell again. But still he'd come to the supper table, now his head through the tears. He'd say, I guess it don't sound like much right now, but nothing runs quite like a deer. Some big man in Washington in a Mercedes-Benz said we gotta make cuts somewhere, so we might as well start with him. did. Somebody out there get in touch with me. I'm in need of H-E-L-P.
Help that boy.
Someone to help with a problem of mine. Tell me, what does it take to keep a woman satisfied? What does it take? Somebody tell me, what does it take? What in the world can it be? What does it take? I would truly love to find, what does it take to keep a woman satisfied? I gave her my love. I gave her all of me, and I was there. Whenever she needed me. I was her best friend and her worst friend. I was all of the above. I gave her materialistic things, and I gave her love. What does it take? Somebody tell me, what does it take? What in the world can it be? What does it take? I would truly love to find, what does it take to keep a woman satisfied? I bought her a car, a big old Cadillac. I bought her a house, I put a pool out back. I gave her my name and babies and diamond rings. Man, I give that girl everything. What does it take? Somebody tell me, what does it take? What in the world can it be? What does it take? I would truly love to find, what does it take to keep a woman satisfied? Cadillac, I bought her a mansion.
Where's the pool?
With a pool out back. I gave her my name and babies and diamond rings. Man, I give that girl everything. What does it take? Somebody tell me, what does it take? What in the world can it be? What does it take? I would truly love to find, what does it take to keep a woman satisfied? What does it take to keep a woman satisfied? What does it take to keep a woman satisfied?
And so he gave me his number, and I talked to him a couple times, and da-da-da, and about 6, 7, 8 months went by. We'd come back up here for the summer and played the beaches around Ocean City, Rehoboth, Lewis. And I don't know, next thing I know, I'm back down in Alamorada, and here comes Cochran again. And I love this story because he was like, "Dog." I said, "Hey, Hank." He goes, "You didn't call me when you came to Nashville." I said, "You know I haven't gotten there yet." He says, "What's your hold up?" I said, "Well, I need a job. I need a place to stay." He says, "All right. You work for my publishing company as a writer.
Okay.
You stay on my farm. I got a house for you. A barn. Literally a barn.
Nice.
Lived in a barn. You live in a barn?" Yep. And so he says, "What else you need?" Well, back then, there were no cell phones, right?
No, of course not.
No. So I said, "I need to walk over there to that payphone and call my wife and insist that we're getting ready to go to Nashville."
Okay.
Did you hear? I didn't say make her.
Right.
Make her start packing.
No, I got the difference.
Yeah, but and it wasn't a month and we were down there. We left Nashville on that. I mean, we left Islamorada on that trip, and I was going to fly back to Nashville, and Billy and Charlie were going to come up here to Maryland. And Cochran said, "Well, why don't you just ride on the boat with us?" And I was like, "Okay,
all right."
So we got on his boat, and we traveled for a month up the Tom Bigby Waterway,
okay,
which is a man-made waterway that runs parallel with the Mississippi. And it goes up to the Kentucky River, and you get it down, and you come through Kentucky back down to Nashville. And Dean Dillon was on there. Dean's written, well, let's just start with Tennessee Whiskey.
Yeah, I know the name.
Let's just start there. But he has, golly day, I don't know how many, 20-some records, number one records. A lot of George Strait stuff. It's Dean Dillon's.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, his catalog is hundreds.
Oh,
isn't
it's awesome.
Yeah.
But him and Hank wrote right through that period of time, the early to mid '80s. The two of them were writing a lot together. So, that was our introduction to get to Nashville, was hanging out with those guys, and we were with all the right people.
Okay.
Just didn't happen. So we came. I mean, we had a record contract, and Hank didn't want to take it. He thought we'd get a better deal.
Better deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so we listened to him, and we ended up with none, but we had a great run.
Okay.
I look back now, I'm going, damn, that was fun. And it's not like I'm sitting here going, I wonder what if we'd gone to Nashville, what that would have been. Could we have done it? I don't have to sit and think about it.
Yeah.
We were there. We lived it. We lived it with the dogs. I mean, we played with George Jones, Charlie Pride, Loretta Lynn, Mel Tillis, all those guys during that era. We played with those guys.
You ever do anything with Vince Gill?
No, he came later. Yeah, I was gone by the time he was. But my man, singing, can that guy sing?
Oh. and he's a guitar player.
And
par
he can
excellence.
blow that guitar up too.
And his mom is a very nice woman. I've interviewed her.
That's pretty cool. But yeah, when he went, what was it, 2 years ago when he first went out on the road with the Eagles?
Eagles.
I mean, just a perfect match.
Mm-hmm.
For all the vocals that those guys do.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, there was one other person on that tour, an old friend of mine from Texas, Milo Deering. He played pedal steel, he played fiddle, and he played flat top on that tour.
Nice.
Shyest guy in the world. Absolutely, but the most adroit musician I've ever seen in hearing a scratch vocal and a scratch guitar part, and then coming up with something completely unique, completely different, completely entertaining in a matter of seconds. It blew my mind.
This has been Delmarvalous Americana here on WSDL 90.7 FM and streaming at delmarvapublicmedia.org. We produce this show at Delmarva Public Media Salisbury University Studio, and we get production help from Angela Semig and Brian Russo, who is our managing director. Remember, you can find this program on the YouTube channel, on Pack 14, on our website, and make sure and visit the show page at delmarvapublicmedia.org. Billy Earl, and thanks for listening to Delmarvalous Americana. And if you remember one thing from today, just remember that a life without music and art just ain't hardly worth it.